Okay, so we won. I mean, welcome to Timberwolves Today. I'm Tyrus. Make sure we're dropping a subscribe, a like, a comment, all that good stuff. It keeps the channel flowing. I like seeing your guys' thoughts. I like going back and reading those the next day. But no, we won. We're 7-4. We're 5-2 on the road. Let's talk about that. We're a road team now, I think. We're like 2-2 at home, if that. But no, 120 to 113. We beat the Jazz this time. That, if you're counting, that would be 33 points less than what we beat them by last time. Yeah, we beat them by 40 just a few days ago. Time is a flat circle. The only teams we have talked about in November at this point, like for a week, has been the Jazz and the Kings. And guess who we're going to talk about later this week? The Kings. NBA, fix the schedule. We talked about it yesterday. We have a bunch of like double headers. It's like, I don't understand why you would want to see teams that early or that close to each other. You don't get a good look at what they could be later in the season or what you could be later in the season. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I know some of it is because of the NBA Cup. Like, we have to play certain teams before then. That makes sense, but I don't think all of these games versus Jazz are that case. Plus, the NBA Cup is in February. I think we could space the games out a little bit better, in my opinion. But it was a interesting night tonight for the Timberwolves. Um, it was just weird. Today was wow. Randall's back on track. In a little bit, which throws off my whole point of Randall having an off night. I think I was reading the wrong stats for him. But we will talk about Randall because I think he did have an off night the other night, so that holds true. Um, got distracted there. Sorry about that. Ant led the team with 35 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Good stuff. Can't complain. At this point, we should throw him in at point guard, in my opinion. That could be interesting. We just don't have another shooting guard is the problem because Dante's not the answer. Let's get right into that. Let's talk about Dante here. Dante has to be traded for a real point guard. End of the story. I don't care who it is. I don't care. I do care who it is. I think there's guys out there that we could go get. It feels like we could go get a backup somewhere and they could be a more efficient player than what Dante is. At this point, he's shooting. Let's pull up some stats on Dante because I'm pretty disgusted. He's shooting 42%. Somehow he's averaging 13 points per game. I've never seen a guy look like he's averaging less than 13 points a game. But it's the 3-point percentage that's concerning me. He is averaging 40%, but he shot 1 for 8 tonight. Like, he can get real streaky. I don't want a guy who's streaky. And his assists, he's only averaging 3.8 assists as our point guard. That doesn't fly right in my books, in my opinion. I don't love that. I don't really want to see that. Um, I think we'd be better off moving him for a guy like Davion Mitchell or Devin Carter. We could package them together for the Ja Morant. We've talked about that here. Go watch that video. I think it was pretty interesting. But I don't think that's the right move, which I get further into depth in that video. But I don't know. I don't know about Dante. Um, I think he needs to go. I think we need to trade him for a real point guard, especially while there's a ton out there. We don't have to draft one. We could see a guy like Caden Boozer fall in the draft, who is the son of Carlos Boozer, if you're not familiar. He's twins brothers with Cameron Boozer, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick this year. But being the twin, he is actually like 5 inches shorter. I want to say Cameron is 6'9" or so, and Caden, yeah, Caden comes in at like 6'4" or maybe even 6. He's 6'4", I think. So he's a point guard by position, and he's a good one too. He's coming off the bench for Duke. I would like them to draft him if we had a choice. That's getting into the weeds of next June, but if he does fall in the draft a bit and we can snipe him with our pick wherever that lands, I think that would be a great future option. But for right now, I would like to see Dante moved. We have to trade Dante for a point guard in some way, shape, or form. It's the only thing. Um, I put Randall had a second weird game. I'm now realizing I was looking at the wrong person's stats for the game. which happens when these games start at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is crazy. It was the fact that the game didn't update. So it went final now on my ESPN that I always keep up here just so I can have reference of the stats. Randall, though, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. The streak is back where he leads the team in at least one stat every game. Today it was 7 assists and 3 steals to get him there, which is better than field goal. I think I was like free throw percentage was the one I found last time. Um, Holy cow, he shot 13 free throws tonight. I didn't know Randall could get to the line like that. He doesn't drive and get contact like that much, I feel like. So, you know what? This was a weird game. His last one was weird because it was a bit of an off night for him. Tonight was weird just in the fact of how he got his stats. 27 shooting 7 for 16. So, and a 3. So, he 1 3 plus 14 points is 17. And then he had, or whatever. I don't think I'm a math guy. 17 points. And then he had, or double counting there. So, he had 12, 15 plus the 12 free throws is 27 points. 12, almost half of his points coming from free throws. That's not particularly normal for Randall. I would consider that to be a weird game. I'm really talking my way out of this rabbit hole. I think it was a weird game though. Anthony Edwards shot 25 times. If you didn't see, off topic, talking about the Pistons here, Cade Cunningham shot the ball 45 times and had 46 points tonight. Go look at that stat from tonight, Monday night, November 10th. Go look at the Cade Cunningham stat line. As long as we don't have guys putting up stuff like that, I'll live. Anthony Edwards shooting 25 times for 35 points. Not the most beautiful thing, but only 4 of those coming from free throws is diabolical. Like, Randall's almost half of his points free throws. Ant's just getting his naturally. 5 for 9 from 3. That's not a weird night. Randall, weird night. Not his normal stat line. It's almost like him and Ant flipped who's the driver and who's going to stay out on the 3. And that might have just been the matchups. I think Randall matches up very well against this team, which allows him to have a weird game like that, in my opinion. Yeah, very strange. Why is Svi Mikhailuk shooting ball 13 times? Whatever. Let's move on. The last thing I have here today is how can we fix the 3-point shooting crisis? Because we have a problem. I mean, every guy has came in this year and has shot horribly for the most part. Randall shot 1 for 4. Jaden shot 1 for 2. Rudy's obviously never going to attempt a 3 in his life unless he has to. Dante shot 1 for 8. Figure it out, man. Like we just talked about it. You are supposed to be a 3-point shooter. That's why you were brought on the team in the first place. That's why we wanted you in the cat trade. Probably could have got someone else. Maybe we could have got Josh Hart instead of this idiot. But instead we're stuck with Dante. And I'm not loving the performance he's given here in Minnesota. So might be time to move on from that. Like we were saying, Ant is the only good 3-point shooter on the team at this point because Naz Reid, he gets $25 million a year and forgets how to shoot. 1 for 7 from 3. Good work, buddy. Mike Conley 1 for 2, and then the other guys don't even matter. Yeah, Clark shot 1. Rob didn't shoot any. I don't understand why Rob's points are fluctuating the way they are too. That's weird. I don't know how we can fix it. You know, like all these guys have the possibility to be a good 3-point shooter. We see it. We see the shots go up. They just don't fall for us. Like we seriously shot 10 for 33 tonight. So I love that we're not taking 53s a game anymore and we're not just launching them because so the Jazz shot 50 threes tonight and made 17 of them. So they actually shot that is better than us. Yeah, we shot about 30% and they shot 32%. So they had a slightly better night from 3 from us, but I don't want to shoot 53s a game if we're going to make like 15 of them. That's not efficient. That's not good. Instead, look at us. We ended up driving, getting 2s, getting the easier shots. 42 for 89 compared to the Jazz's 38 for 95. That's how we're going to win these games is by not taking 3s. And that's the easiest way to fix the 3 point crisis, which Finch has honestly minimized pretty well, in my opinion. Taking 33 shots from three as an NBA team in 2025 is crazy. That's like almost unheard of, I feel like. And even better is the amount of shots that we're able to drive to the rim and make. You just don't get games like that anymore. You don't get teams who are willing to just try to go get a harder basket. Instead, they want to settle for the three and live and die by it. Looking at you, Joe Mazzulla led Celtics, not a way to win basketball games, in my opinion. So, to fix the 3 point shooting, we don't shoot threes. That's just my thoughts, but we do have only one game to talk about this week, and that it will be the Kings on Friday. So later this week, we will break down that game, and then we will recap that game on Friday night. Episode comes out Saturday. That's all I've got for you today. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're dropping a like. Make sure you're commenting. See you on the next one.